I think something like that. Since I got a system that I thought, why? Yeah, I remember something like it's a nine. So. Yeah. Right, so the agenda is a public hearing. It's really two parts. One is, code of conduct and, the policy plan. Do I have a motion to open the people hearing? So moved. So. All in favor? Any against? So first, we're gonna, do the presentation on the conduct. Are there no changes from last year? So the code of conduct is exactly the same, last year, or, was there meaning open the code hearing specifically? Do we have any public comment? We did not. No. We're just actually, on sites, who are supposed to be there, everything is outdated, but that was really just to make sure no one who's in their attendance. Yeah. Sorry, so. There was no right changes, social fatigue contents. You're able to pull it out. That's. Yes, I mean, brand and I am. Yeah, we will see. Maybe now, so, yeah. Very actually good. We can come out to that. Let's see. It's like it's just. Something like that, yeah, I think it's just entirely where I'm definitely. But I'm definitely in the PDF version. Yeah, so it looks like that, so, yeah. Yeah. You can fix that. Yeah, that's it. Fine, well, I think they came around and shoot things. So the title. Basically next. Check out yeah. And then by process session, like, I'm just seeing that was incorporated, in regards to staff training, so. If you. Go to page, can you go to page 42? And then. Number 4, right under dissemination. The way that reads, it sounds like the staff are just handing it. I know that that's not the case. I know.
Right, it's not the case. There's a training in every building at the beginning of the school year for students and staff, and there's also plain language copies. At age appropriate levels that are distributed to the students of the building.
Right. The. The plain language is explained in there to the parents and staff. But in the safety plan, there's this great paragraph about staff training, and I'm thinking it's probably just safe requirement, very similar, so.
It's not, we've got two different like regulations and that's Project Save, the state legislation, governs safety.
We just, I believe I'm reading this, should we just put the regulation for the training, for the code of conduct, that it's. Somewhere in there, it just says, staff will be trained as needed. And. all it really needs is a simple. Will be trained at least yearly from law. More
Similar to the stones and things. Right there.
Yeah, I mean, the,
I think that was.
Still nothing on show.
No. Yeah.
So. No. Yeah. Quick, the point of some word docs.
I see.
Okay.
I can't even get into the meeting.
It seems like gravity. But I can see. I believe in listen. It's
Yeah, same thing.
We need to post the comments on the. And in the public room for them. So. You have a safety plan? Brady has a safety plan. Yeah, we're not funding, we have these two funds, so you don't have to fund out right away on. One fund. It's up there.
No, I just think that right, do I have to close the so the next one is the safety plan. Bring that.
Yeah, so this year there were no changes. We had dated everything last year. So the only changes we made this year were with staff, and this was approved by our regional CMD service.
Well, so I'm starting to. I do something, I'm in this one, but yeah, I'll leave, no, I'm not doing it. Not necessarily words.
You find with a list of. People, they have my gen in there, that's just on the safety committee. I think the only other thing I had, the very last page is Sanchenko, reviewed July 15th, 2024. On the very last page.
Yeah, I can change that. And I don't know if I can make any of these edits right now, of course.
Anything else from worth?
So.
Figuring, to make sure they give us your name and I'm planning from Stephen Crowley, live in Dalton, on here. You know, and with it over, and trying to get more involved with the town and what have you. When I went to it, unfortunately, I think that my, you know, the things like, you know, student, that needs, on the you know, it's all, you know, post, you know, focus of what's in there and focus, you know, and then nothing, you know, I don't know, you know, you do all the things that happen. Now, granted, you know, sooner and becomes really bad, so understand. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, lockdowns and everything like that, you know, all those things doing something that started in, trying to do that plan, and then and it's in what school the nation and avoiding is one of the learning and then, that's thinking about from this, like, if you bring it along, when you do London, and when you come back, please, if you do, I'm not you'll part of it, right? And there's, it's not really, not being, not like, I don't know how wired. Or not, you're not aware. Nothing was, it's really, the house. Nothing was, it's, now, but when you say, and then you go for the left hand with down nice right and it's one of the probably that's one of them. Maybe in those things that the community have been they and that is like them and partner of things to learn where instead of it's it's not for the family or whatever, it needs to rest. And then it's, it's a little more than there, or voting, I think it's there. Maybe a thousand, right? And it's on pleasure, all the, when, capitals. Um,
Just like to, put this in some context. This is one of several plans that exist throughout the district. It's in the public plan. It's foilable, it's available to the public. There are other building level plans, and to just give you the context of what this is designed to be an emergency response plan. All of those things that you're talking about, fall under the category of prevention. This is really the intervention and postvention part of that is available to the public. Yeah, so, there are many other things that are in place that, you just may not be aware of, but we have a DASA policy, we have a DASA officer who investigates any incidences of reported bullying, and or harassment, exactly like you're talking about, and there's interventions that are put in place for that. Additionally, we have, advanced threat assessment training, in all of our buildings. We have teams, we also have a district level team, that were trained repeatedly. Well, they'll be trained again. I was just trained as a trainer on threat assessment, and advanced threat assessment. So we go through that every single year to make sure, like you're saying, that we are aware of the warning signs, and fully recognizing that somebody doesn't actually have to meet a threat to be a threat, like you said. Sometimes these students who feel marginalized and or bullied, they may not say, I'm going to do this, right? But they may be having those feelings. So it's really the identification process. And all of that is how we have all that information, that is housed within each of the individual buildings and reviewed, on an ongoing basis by our counseling staff and our district threat assessment team. So there is a whole other piece of this that's intentionally by state regulation, not so it is. Right, it's not secret, it's not secret. I'd be happy to have a conversation. I actually love this stuff. I was trained in Emmitsburg, Maryland at the National Fire Academy on school safety and was part of the team that worked the New York State School Safety Plan. So this is like my passion, so I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody about it. Some of that stuff, because it does involve, it sort of teeters on sensitive student information and or emergency response protocols that we do not wish to share with the public for obvious reasons. Right, so that's like a whole other piece, but I'm happy to have a conversation with absolutely anybody that has a curiosity, in a more private setting where we can discuss some of these things without impacting security.
Then again, it's, started in these units. It's probably not being that wrong, it's not one. One year,
So these are reviewed annually.
So,
So the district emergency response plan is reviewed annually and it actually is posted publicly. For a period of 30 days for the public to review for that purpose and to have this public hearing this evening. This is this year's annual. Just like the code of conduct, some of these other things, while they aren't standalone meetings, we do have district emergency response meetings, every other month and the buildings meet intermittently in between that as well. And obviously as an on an as needed basis. And when we have those district safety meetings, you can actually tune into a board meeting and hear general updates of the things that we've discussed. But I think if you were to go back from last year, you might see Millbrook is actually like a lab site where other districts sponsor training on safety protocols. And we actually send some of our administrators to other districts in the region to help them go through their emergency response protocols because we are taking it so seriously and we are out in front of a lot of these things in terms of the districts in the surrounding area. But I would love to have a very long discussion with you at your convenience without all of this. It's more rooted in policy and like when I'm thinking about us about the training to and students and parents, it's things like orientation or something like that. We go more than like it's rooted in the policy that we have to have in the school district.
That's a lot,
Some of it is right on the list.
Some of it, the preventive measures are within the code of conduct. So,
I'm also done people. But just maybe my point is, that, don't follow through. But that with it, it's in the good else in I mean, when if personal benefits or more people on the ground, then hopefully and I just that's all I'm concerned is, when these things are moving, I think it was, and when girl needed to believe, everybody, the toilet she was believing, but the girl was pretty nervous, I think it's been, the feelings. Just in police, so I make, and that would go to, no, that was them, then I go and say, that's just, I'm telling being woman, and, so I said, I'm about to feel, when you're looking at, three times in the world, to the point where I was something, the voice, and I think that, well, I'm doing all really great stuff and that's like what I'm looking for, maybe I'll go and in fact, one, give us, give us Wow, maybe it's, yeah, it has to be, more, driven, not in town. Interaction, and, see that, great, environment, and what do we have here? Really, for this, so, anyway, and all I have to say, if we started, going down, I will, thank you, about, if I don't, now, usually, just think back to something you originally said, we things are, in a lot of cases, we have to do pretty much like this thing, and this has to be that, and this has to be. Just sit down there and done them, and, there's something you want to learn, don't worry about it, we talked about it already, because we know that. So that's the whole thing, unless reviewing these things and we, so, feel free. Again, like, getting more involved in the time now, hopefully I'm not getting involved, the non-productive way. And, but, I'm gonna make it, more and more, so.
So maybe for me, you know, how.
You want to say anything on the live show? I'm gonna block the public tonight. See.
Second.
Says consent agenda. The remark, consent. So. The second,
I'll second.
and with the comments of our else.
Well, first question is the public website up and running, is anybody gonna be using any of, anything in the public right now?
Yeah.
Okay, since we cannot, I'll speak for myself. Since we cannot see if anything changed since the last time I looked at any of the agendas, which was of the weekend, I cannot go in good functions on. But
We weren't open.
not seeing once, I can change
Was, what's caused, that's what these ones online. And it's
at this point,
getting all this, not about being done. That.